Meghan Markle has been lying about her age for years. And I don't mean shaving off a year or two like some Hollywood starlet desperate for a rom-com role. I'm talking about potentially 8 years. 8 years. And when the evidence finally came out, she absolutely lost it. Complete meltdown, lawyers scrambling, PR teams in crisis mode. This is the story of a lie so big it could bring down everything she's built. And I've got the receipts. March 1997, 17 magazine, page 90. There it is, in black and white. Meghan Markle, age 21. Now, according to Meghan's official story, the one she sold to the Palace, to Netflix, to Oprah, she was born August 4th, 1981. Do the math. If she was born in 81, she would have been 15 in 1997, not 21. That's a 6-year difference. And before you say, oh, Piers, it's just a magazine typo. No, absolutely not. Because this isn't the only evidence. It's just the first crack in a very, very dodgy foundation. This woman stood in front of the Queen. She signed legal documents. She gave interviews talking about being a young bride at 36. Except, what if she wasn't 36? What if she was 42 or 43? That changes everything. Because if Meghan lied about her age to get into the royal family, then she didn't just fool some casting director in Hollywood. She fooled Buckingham Palace. She fooled the monarchy. She fooled the entire world. And that's not just embarrassing. That's fraud on a global scale. But let's talk about Northwestern University. Meghan supposedly graduated in 2003, age 22. Perfect age for a fresh graduate, isn't it? But here's where it gets interesting. There are photos, group photos from her university days, where Meghan is standing with classmates. And these classmates, they're now in their early to mid 50s. 50 years old. So either Meghan was hanging out with people a decade older than her for absolutely no reason, or she was actually their age and has been lying about it ever since. I know which option I believe. And you know what really gets me? Nobody questioned it. She just slipped into these groups, smiled for the camera, and everyone moved on. Because why would anyone suspect the nice girl from LA was running a decades-long con? Well, people are asking questions now. And Meghan, she's not happy about it. Look at the salsa club photo from Northwestern. Everyone in that picture, when you track them down on LinkedIn, on Facebook, they're all the same age, early 50s, born in the early 1970s. And there's Meghan, right in the middle, same height, same age appearance, fitting in perfectly. You don't accidentally end up in photos with people 10 years older than you throughout your entire university career. That doesn't just happen unless you are that age and you've been lying about it. Look, let's be honest about Hollywood. Actresses lie about their age all the time. A casting director once said to me, off the record obviously, if you're a woman over 30 in this town, you lose half your opportunities overnight. So what do? They shave off 5, 6, 7 years. Suddenly they're competing for ingenue roles instead of concerned mother parts. Now think about Meghan's career. She spent years doing nothing. Briefcase girl on Deal or No Deal. Bit parts in forgettable TV shows. Struggling, grinding, getting rejected. That's not the career of a fresh-faced 20-something. That's someone who's aged out of the system and is desperately trying to cling on. She didn't land Suits until 2011. If she was really 30, she was already pushing it for that role. But if she was actually 36, that role should have gone to someone younger, unless she convinced everyone she was younger. And here's the thing, it worked. She got the role, she got famous, and then she got a prince. But lies have a funny way of catching up with you. Think about the timeline here. Meghan was doing briefcase work on Deal or No Deal in 2006. If she was born in 1981, she was 25. That's young. That makes sense for that kind of work. But if she was born in 1975, she was 31 years old, holding a briefcase, competing with actual 22-year-olds for the same gig. That's desperation. That's someone who's run out of options and is doing whatever it takes to stay in the game. And throughout all of this, she's maintaining the lie, because she knows the second Hollywood finds out her real age, it's over. The roles dry up, the opportunities disappear. Let's talk about Trevor Engelson, Meghan's first husband, the man she conveniently forgets to mention most of the time. They got married in 2011 in Jamaica, divorced in 2013. Official story, long distance, career conflicts, blah, blah, blah. But here's what's interesting. Trevor was born in 1976. If Meghan was born in 1981, she's 5 years younger. Normal age gap, nothing suspicious. But if she was born in 1975 or 76, they're the same age. Maybe she's even older. And Trevor? He's been remarkably quiet about all of this. He signed an NDA, presumably. Very convenient. But you have to ask yourself, what does Trevor know? Because he was married to her. He saw her documents, her passport, her driver's license. If anyone knows the truth about Meghan's real age, it's Trevor Engelson. And his silence? That's not loyalty. That's legal obligation. Or maybe fear. Think about what Trevor saw during their marriage. He was a film producer. He understood how Hollywood worked. He knew about the age games, the lies, the manipulation. Did Meghan tell him the truth? Or did she lie to him too? And if she did lie to him, that's fraud. You can't marry someone under false pretenses. It's literally grounds for annulment. But here's the thing. NDAs don't hold up in court. If Trevor is subpoenaed in Samantha's lawsuit, he has to tell the truth, under oath. And when that happens, game over. May 19th, 2018, the royal wedding. And what did every single media outlet say? Meghan Markle, aged 36, marries Prince Harry. 36. They said it over and over and over. The fresh-faced American actress, the modern bride, bringing youthful energy to the stuffy old monarchy. Except, what if she wasn't 36? What if she was actually 42 or 43? That completely changes the narrative, doesn't it? Suddenly, she's not the young bride breathing new life into the royals. She's a middle-aged woman who pulled off one of the greatest cons in modern history. And the palace? They either didn't know, which makes them look incompetent, or they did know and they covered it up, which makes them complicit. Either way, it's a disaster. Because if Meghan lied about something as basic as her date of birth, what else has she lied about? The miscarriage story? The mental health claims? The racism allegations? Once you prove someone is willing to lie about the fundamentals, everything else becomes questionable. The entire royal wedding was built on a lie. Every headline, every news report, every puff piece about the young American actress was based on false information. 2 billion people watched that wedding. 2 billion. And they were all fed the same story. Meghan Markle, 36, marrying Prince Harry, 33. A normal age gap. A modern couple. But if she was actually 42 or 43, that's a 9 or 10 year age gap. And suddenly Harry looks less like a prince who found his princess and more like a man who got played by someone far more experienced and calculating than him. The optics completely change. The whole fairy tale crumbles. Now this is where it gets really dodgy. When Archie was born in 2019, his birth certificate was filed with Meghan's full name, Rachel Meghan Markle. Standard, normal, nothing to see here. But then, just weeks later, the certificate was changed. Her personal names, Rachel Meghan, were removed, replaced with just Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex. Now, why would you do that? The palace said it was about protocol. Absolute rubbish. Birth certificates aren't Instagram captions you can edit on a whim. They're legal documents, permanent records. So why change it? Here's what I think. Meghan's terrified of paper trails. She doesn't want her legal name on official documents because those documents can be traced, cross-referenced, investigated. And if someone starts digging through Meghan Markle's records, school files, previous marriages, passport applications, what might they find? Birth years that don't match up, timelines that contradict the official story, evidence of a decades-long deception. So she scrubs her name, makes herself harder to track, and hopes no one notices. Well, we noticed. And here's the other thing. Changing a royal birth certificate is not normal. It's actually highly unusual. Royal births are recorded with extreme precision because these children are in the line of succession. Every detail matters. Every name, every date, every location. So for Meghan to successfully change that document, she had to go through official channels. She had to get approval, which means either she manipulated the system or someone in the palace helped her cover her tracks. Either way, it stinks. It absolutely stinks. Thomas Markle, Meghan's father, the man she's completely cut out of her life. Now, Thomas has said a lot of things about Meghan over the years. He's done interviews, he's spoken to the press, he's defended himself against her accusations. But here's what's fascinating. When asked directly about Meghan's age, he gets vague. He won't give a straight answer. Now think about that. You're a father. You know when your daughter was born. It's not a complicated question. Mr. Markle, what year was Meghan born? Should take 2 seconds to answer. But he doesn't. He dances around it. He hints. He suggests there are discrepancies. Why? Either he's protecting her, which seems unlikely given how she's treated him, or he's legally prevented from saying, or he knows the truth would destroy her. And in Samantha's lawsuit against Meghan, Thomas is listed as a potential witness. You can bet Samantha's lawyers are going to ask him under oath, what is your daughter's real date of birth? And when he's forced to answer, that's when this whole house of cards comes tumbling down. Think about Thomas's position here. He's been absolutely vilified by his daughter. She's called him a liar on global television. She's accused him of staging photographs. She cut him off completely, wouldn't even let him meet his grandchildren. He has every reason to expose her, every reason to tell the truth and vindicate himself publicly. But he doesn't. He holds back. He dances around the question. That tells me he's either legally bound by something we don't know about, or the truth is so damaging that even he is reluctant to drop that bomb. So how has Meghan responded to all of this? Has she released her birth certificate? No. Has she addressed the 17 magazine article? No. Has she explained the college photos? No. Instead, she's done what she always does. She's gone into attack mode. Lawyers sending cease and desist letters, PR teams working overtime, social media accounts blocked, photos scrubbed from the internet. This is not the behavior of someone who has nothing to hide. If your timeline was clean, you'd release the documents. You'd laugh it off. You'd say, here's my birth certificate. Here's my passport. Now leave me alone. But she won't, because she can't. And according to sources close to the situation, and yes, I have sources, Meghan had an absolute meltdown when this story started gaining traction, screaming at staff, emergency meetings with lawyers, frantic calls to her PR team. This woman has built a multi-million-dollar brand on being the victim, the misunderstood Duchess, the woman who tells her truth. But what happens when her truth turns out to be a lie? I've been told by people who've worked with her that Meghan is absolutely obsessed with controlling every aspect of her public image. Every photograph, every interview, every social media post is carefully managed and curated. So when something like this breaks, something she can't control, something that contradicts her official narrative, she goes into total crisis mode. And the worst part for her? This isn't going away. She can't make this disappear with a carefully worded statement or a sympathetic interview with a friendly journalist. The evidence is out there. The photos exist. The magazine is archived. Her classmates remember. She's cornered, and she knows it. Now let's talk about Netflix. They paid Harry and Meghan over $100 million for content, documentaries, reality shows, the whole authentic Meghan and Harry experience. Except, what if it's not authentic? What if the woman they've built an entire content strategy around has been lying about basic biographical facts? Netflix doesn't care if Meghan shaved a few years off her age for vanity. That's Hollywood. Everyone does it. But what they do care about is legal liability. If Meghan signed contracts with false information, age, previous marriages, whatever, those contracts could be invalidated. Netflix could sue for fraud. They could demand their money back. And you can bet their legal team is going through everything right now. Every document Meghan ever signed, every claim she ever made. Because if this age thing is true, what else has she lied about? Netflix is stuck. They've invested millions in Meghan's brand, but that brand is starting to look like a house built on sand. And when the tide comes in, the whole thing collapses. Think about Netflix's position here. They're a publicly traded company with shareholders to answer to. If it comes out that they paid $100 million to someone who falsified basic biographical information, their stock takes a hit. More importantly, their credibility takes a massive hit. They've positioned themselves as the home of authentic storytelling, of giving voice to people's real experiences. But what if Meghan's real experience is built on lies? Let's summarize the evidence, shall we? 1. 17 magazine, 1997, lists her as 21 years old, would make her birth year 1975 or 76. 2. College photos showing her with classmates who are now in their 50s. 3. Alumni records and reunion events where she's consistently grouped with people significantly older than her claimed age. 4. Her own father refusing to confirm her birth year on record. 5. The edited birth certificate for Archie scrubbing her legal name. 6. Her Hollywood career timeline, which makes no sense if she was really as young as she claims. 7. The fact that she's never, ever released her actual birth certificate, despite years of speculation. 8. The complete absence of dated childhood photographs from the early to mid-1980s, which should exist if she was born in 1981. 9. Her appearance in early 2000s photographs where she looks significantly older than someone in their early 20s. 10. The convenient lack of any high school yearbook photos being made public, despite the fact that yearbooks are easily accessible and widely shared. Now, any one of these things, you could dismiss it. But all of them together, that's not coincidence. That's a pattern. And patterns don't lie. People do. So what happens now? Well, Samantha's lawsuit is moving forward. And in that lawsuit, Meghan might be forced, under oath, to provide her birth certificate. Can't dodge that with a PR statement. Can't have your lawyers object their way out of it. Either she produces the document or she commits perjury. Those are the options. And if that birth certificate shows a different year than 1981, it's over. The whole thing comes crashing down. Marriage potentially invalidated. Netflix contracts voided. Public credibility destroyed. Everything she's built, gone. And Harry? Poor, stupid Harry. The man gave up his family, his country, his military titles. For what? A woman who might have been lying to him from day one. Do you think he knew? Or is he just as much a victim in this as everyone else? I genuinely don't know. But I'll tell you this, if Harry didn't know, and he finds out she's been lying about her age, of all things, that marriage is finished. Think about what Harry sacrificed for this woman. He walked away from William, his only brother. He walked away from his father. He abandoned his grandmother in her final years. He gave up his military honours, the things he valued most in his life. He moved to a country he barely knew. He signed away his privacy for money. All for Meghan. All because he believed in her, believed in their story, believed she was worth it. And if it turns out she's been lying to him about something as fundamental as when she was born, there's no coming back from that. The humiliation alone would be devastating. Look, I've been criticised for years for calling out Meghan Markle. People say I'm obsessed, that I'm a bully, that I have some personal vendetta. Rubbish. I call out liars. I call out hypocrites. And I call out people who use their platform to manipulate and deceive. Meghan Markle has made millions by playing the victim, by crying to Oprah, by writing children's books about kindness while destroying her own family. And if she's been lying about her age, something so basic, so fundamental, then what else has she lied about? The palace racism claims? The mental health story? The whole trapped in the institution narrative? How much of it is real and how much is just performance? I don't know, but I'm going to keep asking questions. I'm going to keep demanding answers because the truth matters. Facts matter. And Meghan Markle has spent long enough controlling the narrative. It's time for the real story to come out. The walls are closing in, Meghan, and no amount of PR spin is going to save you now. The truth always comes out in the end. Always. You can lie to the public. You can lie to the press. You can lie to Netflix and Oprah and anyone else willing to give you a platform. But you can't lie in court. You can't lie under oath. You can't lie when there's actual evidence staring you in the face. And that's where we are now. The evidence exists. The questions are being asked. The lawsuit is moving forward. And soon, very soon, Meghan Markle is going to have to answer for her lies. All of them.